Can't catch a fucking break here, man. Can't catch a fucking break. I just can't believe it, man. I cannot fucking believe it. Chuck Stew here, ladies and gentlemen. Lucky get sunshine. Oh, man. All right, so I'm laughing, man. It ain't that bad. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time. No, I'm not, actually. So, it's, I was just trying to record the Chuck Stew show on my phone for this week's episode. But then I got an alarm that came in and shut it off. And now the notifications keep coming in too, so I gotta now shut that shit. Oh, it's not even a notification, it's some fucking bullshit. Oh my god. So, that's just Chuck Stew's life right now. It's just not looking good. Like, it's not. Oh god, excuse me. Sorry about that. Anyways, forgot to get Mr. K's food, but guys, it is just not looking good, man. Chuck Stew has just been depressed all day today. I've been really depressed. Like, actually, pretty severely depressed, but if I wasn't in... If I don't... Because I'm so divorced from myself, I just laugh at things that are so ridiculously absurd in my life that I find these things funny when horrible things happen to me. Or maybe what I perceive to be horrible. But I was actually talking about on my phone, and I guess I'm going to go ahead and delete now because I only got, a minute of it on here, so there's no point in trying to upload that shit. Just got to do it again. On this, which is, let's see, yeah, about a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that off my phone, just make a new one. So for this, anyways, not for this episode. Yes, for this episode. What I'm going to be talking about is how my ex-girlfriend is not only posting shit of her and her boyfriend, like she's gonna flaunt that shit to the world on the Insta, on the fucking gram, now she is doing it on Facebook. And for whatever reason, Facebook suggested that I becomes with her boyfriend, who also has pictures of him and her on his display on his profile. Now, I understand that this is just I don't want to fucking understand this. I don't have to understand shit. I'm not going to try to understand something that's just, it's fucking gross. It just, after the fucking horrible day that I've had at work, and the fact that now I have to quit. I now have to fully embrace quitting this fucking job. Oh, God. Anyways, it suggested it, so I said no to remove that off of Facebook. And I haven't talked to her in about 2 days, and there's not a point in talking to my ex-girlfriend. I don't want to continue being friends with her when it's just painful and see that she's just flying that shit around. And last 2 Fridays ago, I went and told her that I'm willing to correct the mistakes that I've made in the past. And what I mean by that is I want to correct these mistakes so that I can come down to Mexico and we can actually try to have a relationship. And I was actually planning on proposing to her. And I told her several times, I'm sorry about what I did in the past. I'm sorry that I didn't show up for your birthday or I didn't show up for Christmas or different things like that. It's just, I've had the same problem that has to go back all the way about, 8 years ago when I first came to Tucson from California, and I left my entire life back behind and then came here which perpetuated nothing, not nothing, but and nothing as in a relationship between a man and a woman. So me and my ex-fiance, which is a different woman. And it completely fell apart. I broke up with her before the wedding. And I just couldn't get that out of my head that if I sacrifice everything again, who's to say this is not going to happen again where I get completely fucked over? I'm the one that gets the short end of the stick. And that's what I explained to her. We had this big fight about it a couple times over the last few months. We didn't talk for about 2 weeks, and then before that, we didn't talk for about a week. The last time we got angry at each other. And so I told her, look, I'm sorry for all these mistakes I made, but I really wanted to get back with you and actually come to Mexico this time, go pay for the passport, and just get over my fears because I'm now using Chuck Stew as my personal therapy sessions that I do once a week instead of going to pay for one, because the last time Chuck Stew talked to a therapist, I didn't see the point in paying her the amount of money I was paying her for her to tell me to go take a walk when I get stressed. So that's how that shit went, and that's why I don't do that anymore. So this is my fucking therapy session. And I told her, I'm willing to do this. I'm sorry that I made all these mistakes in the past and I dumped you twice. I understand how you're mad and upset about my past decisions, but I'm willing to fix them now. I want to work on these things. Nope, she said adios and put a happy face because she said, I have a boyfriend now, what are you doing? She basically said, what are you doing? Stop talking to me. Even though when I was dating other women and she was still blowing up my fucking phone, like, when we weren't even together at the time. So when I was talking to other women, she still was blowing up my phone, talking to me, watching all my fucking videos on YouTube, watching the Christian channel, and these videos right here, the Chuck Stew episodes, even though she can't speak fucking English. And she said, what are you doing? And I showed it to Dr. Book, and I don't remember what he said, but I was just thinking to myself, I can't believe this is fucking happening right now. Like, I'm pouring my heart out to you. I'm pouring the soul out of me to tell you that I want to try to make things better and actually do this time. Even consider moving to Mexico. Even if she doesn't want to, she can't come here, she doesn't want to come here, whatever the fuck the reason was. And her dad's in a fucking cartel, and I still let that slide just to try to get through with this. To just do this so we can try to have a life together, because this is what I saw as the only... I thought this was the only opportunity to do this again. And I repeatedly apologized for my past actions. And she said, no, there's no point in you coming down here anymore. That's what she told me. There is no reason for you to come down here anymore. I have a boyfriend, and she said she moved on. So, she didn't say that, but that's what was implied. So I said, well, I don't want to be friends then, because there's no point, because it's just going to be too painful all the time to know that I was ready for this step, even though last December I had a plane ticket to go fly down to Hermosillo to go see her, and I wasn't able to do it because I almost had a panic attack before getting on the... I was trying to get on the bus, the thing wouldn't work out, I couldn't get them to print the tickets, the whole thing was just a fucking fiasco, it was a huge mess, and I didn't go. And I regret that wholeheartedly. No. Nope. I said to her, I don't think I can continue being friends with you because it's too painful. I didn't say that part. You know, I'm a fucking man. I'm not saying that shit, but I'm just saying I can't do it. I can't do this anymore. I can't be in this merry-go-round where the snake is eating its own tail consistently. And she said, adios, with a happy face. And at that moment, that was it. Like, it's done. This 2.5 year fiasco thing where we were together, we worked together, we were friends. She was super obsessed with me, and she's not obsessed with me anymore. She's obsessed about this new man, and she doesn't want to be friends or talk to me anymore. And so I just have to move on. So that's pretty much all that is. I mean, at the time that she got that obsessed with me, I didn't accidentally. I put a spell. I used this hex spell that I did myself at the other apartment that I was living at with my brother. I used this witch's curse, and I put it on her. I didn't put it on her. I actually put it on this woman at this restaurant that I go to, or used to. That's fucking dead, too. That's gone, too. Everything in my life other than fucking my faith, my friends, my alcohol, and my writing. There's a lot to be thankful for, but just at this moment, it's just... I was talking to my coworker, who's also one of my good friends at work, saying that one saying, it is better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. I think it was just better to just not have had it happen and just not loved anything and just be fucking asexual. I think that's what would have been better. I wish I had never met this woman. I wish I'd never met my other ex. I wish I'd never met any of the women that I broke it off with, or they broke it off with me. Actually, there is none of the woman breaking it off with me. There are nothing but examples of me breaking up with them and then still trying to keep them in my life, like to be my friends and shit. Like, there's not a point to that because it's just it's never really something you can get over. You can't really push past something like that. It's like when you have a stillborn kid. I would assume. I mean, I've never been in that situation. It's like when your beloved pet dies, you're never really gonna forget it, you know. It's still always going to be there in some form or another. the little scar is still going to appear on you, even if it's not on your skin. It's going to be on your soul somewhere on there. It's not going to fully heal itself. So you pray to Jesus all you want. It's not going to get fixed. Which brings me to the next thing, which was my job. Is currently will not be for long, hopefully. No more of this bullshit with this fucking job, these fucking people. I'm sick of this fucking job. I love working with all the people that are on my level. The nurses, the scrub techs, the anesthesia techs, the janitors and whatnot, the housekeepers, everybody. The people that work up front that set up surgeries, even the people in the business office. I love working with everybody. Except for the people at the top, which I don't know how many times I've had to quit a job or got fired from a job for the same fucking reason. It's the politics of the people that are at the top and what fucking ruin everything. And I know USPI is behind this. There's fucking people in the fucking OR that are behind this. I know, I have a feeling I know who these people are because there's little canaries that fly around back there. It's not like I don't hear things. And so, off of some bullshit, one of my good friends, I'm not going to mention his name, he got fired today at work. He was fired. I couldn't fucking believe it. I mean, I've quit jobs for less. I've quit jobs because my fucking manager looked at me cockeyed, as funny as that sounds, or even just a little bit of, like, you know, when you turn around, like, what the fuck did you just say? I quit for less. Jobs that pay almost as much as this one. That fucking Convergys, I was at that damn job for 2 months. And when some stupid bitch yelled at me on the phone because she happened to have her house in the fucking Houston area when all that, it flooded at the time, she was yelling at me like it was my fucking fault because she didn't get her medications. Like, no. I've quit for less than what I've dealt with and seen at this job. My God, it is fucking insanely bad. It is so fucking terrible at this job. It is ugly. It is sin. It is the walking epitome and embodiment of wickedness and evil. There's some of those fucking people there. I'm done being loyal. I'm done turning the other cheek with this fucking job. I'm done. I'm just done turning the other cheek. Just giving the benefit of the doubt of the people. They're just trying to do the best they can. No, they don't give a fuck. That's what this is. They don't care about me. They don't care about anybody there. USPI has an agenda, and that agenda will be fulfilled when we all become USPI employees on January 1st of 2019. There is an agenda. There's something cooking below the surface here. Something fucking stinks. And now one of my good friends got fired off of some bullshit that he couldn't control. It's the same merry-go-round. Every fucking job I've ever held, all 28 jobs I've held since 2006. It's the same shit. When you think to yourself, I can trust my boss, that's where they got you. You're a fucking pawn. You're a fucking part of their scheme, and a lot of those people just go completely just happy right along, marching up to the lines, and they just don't have a care in the world because they think that the biggest people that work behind them or above them, they got their back, man. And that's just how a whole lot of people think about that, man. DTA. When it comes to the people that are at the top, the cream rises to the top. Fuck that shit. That shit does not exist. It never will exist in this fucking world. There are people that fucking, if you step and you claw and you just bite and you take out other people, you don't get it by your merits of doing a good job. Then most people don't give a fuck about that. Are you usable? Can you be a pawn? That's what they want. That's what fucking wicked, ugly corporations want. Out of all people, that's what they want. I say jump, you say how high. And my friend who got fired today was not one of those people, and guess what fucking happened to him? It's just a matter of time until they erase all of us. I got my writing. I put out these books. I have my parents in my life, even though they cannot be trusted. My parents will still be there for me. The crew is still there for me because Dr. Pearlsey's book and Buck Strickland, they are real men. They know what's going down. They know what the score is. So that happened, and now I had to make a decision, even though I told... Same thing that happened when they fired that woman that used to be my old boss at this job about 8 months ago. The same thing happened to her. They fucking sold her ass down the river too. And both her and the other 2 people that I used to work with are now work at the Veterans Hospital here in Tucson. So it's like, why don't I just go along with them? Because apparently they're being treated better there than we're getting treated here. We're always getting the short end of the stick, man. We're always getting the short end. I've gotten the short end of the stick from every single fucking job I've ever been a part of, every single fucking relationship with a woman I've ever been in. I can't say all my friends, because there's 2 friends that I have, not family members, but 2 friends that have never fucking sold me out, have never said, Sean, I'm putting you second. That's never happened. That's why I stay true to the fucking crew. I've had friends in the past in California that fucking sold me up the river. That shit happened. That sold me in the fucking lake. Most people are not trustworthy, nor are they good. It's time to start praying for Armageddon. It's time for this all to just end. To just get to the point where we can get to the second holy war. And we can get armed up and cloaked up and weaponed up so we can fight Satan. And it's time for Jesus to come back and just wipe everything, like it says in the book of 2 Peter, where God is going to wipe the world with fire. That's the time when it needs to happen now. Because there just is no point for people like me. What am I going to be, another fucking suicide case? Like the fucking rest of them? Or, I don't know, the fucking, how many 80,000 people that fucking OD'd on opioids? Like, recently, just for this year of 2018, or all the people that fucking use guns to fucking kill themselves? Like, it's like, God sees us, when is it going to be enough? God looks down at earth, and he sees what's going on. Why is God not intervening? You know? Maybe it's because we're not praying for it. We're not praying for persecution. We're not praying for Armageddon. We're not praying for the final holy war to happen, and then the earth will be made good, and everything will be made right again. Just like how it was in the Garden of Eden. Just like the original intention of God for all of us. Jesus died on the cross and no one gives a shit. Satan just runs free, man. Does whatever he wants. Satanists do whatever they want. They don't feel anything. They don't care. I was a Satanist at one time. My whole intention and purpose was to join Anton LaVey's church in San Francisco. Yeah, I even did that shit recently with what I was just talking about at the beginning of the podcast about the black magic. I did that. I did it. I put a spell on a woman so she would love me because she didn't feel the same way of how I felt about her, being that she was in like 4 of my fucking books. Character based off of her. You know, because I don't want to get sued. Just another fucking thing in this shit god-awful world of ours. It's a fucking ugly world. It's just cruel with evil, wicked intentions. And not only do you have to wage war against everyone else, including with the Illuminati, and just when you walk outside your front door, to wage war against the people at your job, like, where you can't feel safe anywhere. And everything, you have to rent everything, and nothing. You're not able to own anything, and even not only waging war against that, but waging war against yourself. It's so ugly. It's so wicked. I mean, I'm trying to just relax and watch an episode of SmackDown right now because it's the 1000th episode. So I thought it was going to be really dope and cool, you know, really fun to watch, a whole lot of old segments. It's like one of the worst fucking episodes I've ever seen. I don't know why I keep going back. The only reason I came back to it because it was the 1000th episode, so I thought I was going to be watching something I saw when I was a kid, because my dad took me to SmackDown back in 2001. I think it was like February or March 2001, and I thought I was like, oh wow, that's so cool because Evolution's back, and no, it's a fucking joke, just like everything else in life is a fucking joke. No, it's like, where's the morality? Where is? I mean, I was praying at work today. We need a Moses. We need a Moses to come help us. We need someone to break the chains, because the people that are doing it up there, man, in their office, working on salaries so they get to fucking go home at 1:30 in the afternoon, when we're all sitting back there fucking being slaves, being abused by the doctors and whatnot. Where is our redemption? Where's the redemption for the working man? We bust our ass 12, 14 hours a day for what? For some shitty fucking paycheck? What's the point? I don't care. Like, I don't. I've been trying to watch these Tony Robbins videos. I said Tony Romo. That's a Cowboys player. I mean Tony Robbins. I've been watching a lot of his videos lately just so I could just have a sense of semblance. Just a sense of just to try to keep some positivity and happiness in myself, because I made so many fucking mistakes and people just keep taking and abusing, and it's like that Marilyn Manson song. They just fucking dry you out. They tie you up and make you feel like you're dead to the world. They just love to take their golden scissors and just cut the lifespan out of you. Never seen something just this. No, I've seen things as hideous. I've seen things as bad. The worst it ever got was when I was at Camino Seco Village. That was probably the lowest point. That was the lowest point in my life. And then I thought up until I was living with my parents and I was fucking jobless, going over to my brother's house at the age of 28 to 29 years old. Going over to my brother's house because my parents didn't want me there and I couldn't find a job, and I didn't have the only thing I had was my faith in God. Now I'm back here again. I now am back at square one again, except for the fact that I have this apartment. I just signed an 11-month lease, and I'm quitting this job because of how fucking terrible it's been, how ugly and nasty it is. And this is every job, guys. For everybody listening to Chuck Stew out there, I'm telling you, man, this is a fucking waste. At times, this feels like a waste of a life. It's like what Soren Kierkegaard said. He said, God, I never asked you to make me. I never asked to be born. There are times where I wish my mom aborted me, where I was a stillborn, because I would have known that I would have just been in God's graces and I would have learned the things I was supposed to learn and grow in the spirits with Jesus in heaven, and then I wouldn't have had to worry about being here on earth to do. I mean, well, it says in the book of Proverbs we're supposed to work with the gospel, the ministry, and the church, to get people to bring them over from a dark side. I know, but there's this thing that I keep very close to me, and I'm so thankful that I watched this video by Doug Perry on the Fellowship of the Martyrs channel. He said in this story he told about when he met Jesus in person, that Jesus said, every single sin and everything you've ever seen and felt in your life, and what you read, what you felt, what you see, everything, it will be made right in the end. Holy judgment will come, and the people who are going to be raised up will be raised up. Everything will be made right in the end. Christ told him that, and I keep that close to me. I keep that in my heart. It's just, I know Jesus, it says in the Bible that you will never give us more than we can't handle. So, Jesus, I know that I can handle this. I know I can handle this horrible feeling with my ex-girlfriend and this now horrible feeling now I got to switch jobs again, and I wanted to work at a church, but, you know, just got to start putting in the applications again, and even though I'm fucking depressed, again, I can't tell you how many times I've been depressed. All the depressions I've been through. I can't tell you. It's been so many times. I mean, I even told Dr. Book while we were at work on my the last break I had, or the break after that. There was some late break that I had while he was also on break temporarily, that I said I'm only happy when I'm drinking, and it's been like this for about 4 years now, 4 to 5 years. I'm only my happiest when I'm drunk on Fridays and sometimes Saturdays, and I tried to dumb down the drinking. I got a bottle of wine in the fridge right now, and that's just, it's not something I'm proud of. I don't want to be consistently drunk all the time or high all the time. But it's like, how else am I supposed to deal with this? What am I supposed to do? Like, Christ, I'm asking you for an answer, and I'm not getting it. I'm 30 years old, and I'm single. You put it in me to be a very sexual man with sexual energy, but I don't know, because you gave me, so it's just the merry-go-round where I'm blaming God again, when it's not his fault, it's my fault. He already gave me a woman, and I'm ignoring it, because I think I should get something better. I don't know. It's always something like, it's just never good enough to me. It's like there's just something in me that loves being self-destructive. Like, I'm like that Nine Inch Nails song, I'm Mr. Self-Destruct. I don't know why I have always felt this way. I'm not exactly sure where. It probably stems from my childhood, and I'm not exactly I can't think of any other reason. I mean, for the last now 5 months, maybe 6 months now, I've been watching Jordan Peterson's videos every night. Not every night, but about 6 days a week. I've been watching Jordan Peterson's videos to try to better myself. And I bought his book, and now I'm watching Tony Robbins' videos, and I'm going to make a whole span of those videos for my channel. Even though my channel's growing on YouTube, I want to be this motivational speaker, this pastor, to just be a doctor of the shadows, to be a land for the lost, to be a voice of the voiceless. Because I feel, man, if you guys are feeling like shit, I think I'm on that same platform all the way down in the underworld, and I'm standing right there with you guys. Because that's what it damn fucking seems like, man. That's what it damn sure feels like that. So anyways, back to the job. There's just nothing left for me to, I don't have a reason to be loyal anymore. I used to back when this one person quit the job, and that I felt secure and I felt safe and happy at work for a very time that was very temporary. And now it's just gone. It's just an evaporation, I guess, because of how they treated my good friend who did not deserve to get fired. He did not deserve it. It's just, you know, who's next? Is my alarm going off again? What the fuck this is? You know, it's just, I just feel like I just can never be, I always feel I can never just be happy. I never feel like I can just let loose and just relax and just think positively and be in my zen. Even with the meditation and whatnot, it always breaks it because I'm a very pessimistic person, which was what I was talking about in that video that I put up last week. That's it's like the five reasons why I keep getting upset in life, or I struggle with, or something. It was something like that, but just keep losing and losing and losing. I just never feel like a winner. I never feel like I'm important. I never feel like a success, like ever. I mean, I did last night for a little bit, and I was actually feeling really good this morning. Because this morning I was listening to Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast, and it was the most epic podcast, funniest, with the best stories that I've ever heard from his show. And I've been listening to that show for 2 years now. It is just so ridiculous. It was so ridiculously good because of the stories he was telling. And then I get to work and find out one of my best friends at work gets fired when I get to work, which ruins the whole fucking day. So, anyways, well, we gotta think positively because that's what fucking Tony Romo's fucking said. We gotta think positively, guys. We gotta try to see this in a better light, try to see this in a new light. So, the good thing about this is my friend already has a job lined up with one of his best friends. So, he is not going to be in any financial restraints, at least from what he told me. So, getting fired from this job might have been one of the best things that's ever happened to him because of how how consistently stressed and upset he was at this fucking job. So, kudos to him. I just pray that Jesus just gives him that job quickly and that he actually can strive and he can thrive in his position and he can just be happy like what I want to be. I want to be positive. So that's one good thing. He was taken out of misery to be put in paradise. So that's a possibly paradise, maybe a better job. Like if you guys have seen the movie Office Space, at the end of that, but I forgot that guy's name. The main character, he gets a construction worker job with his friend and ends up, not going to jail. Sorry, I got trapped gas in there. And then he doesn't end up going to jail, and they get call center jobs as two friends, and then he's like, no, I'm going to keep doing this, and then he finds a stapler, like when he's sweeping up the gunk, or using a shovel or something. But, let's try to look at that positively. And the other positive thing is that even though this horrible thing happened, I fell in love pretty easily. So whenever the next woman comes along, and I was already thinking of this, of doing the Sabbath, which is taking a month or a couple months or maybe 6 months off, maybe even a year off from dating, and just focus on myself. Just force me to focus on myself instead of looking for woman after woman. It was just there's always a disconnect. There's always just disappointment in many different forms. So that's another part that's so ugly to me, is that I keep making mistakes by breaking up with women, and then I want to be their friends, and it's just this cycle that I keep continuing with myself because, I'm going to feel bad if they're still not my life. It's like, what the fuck's the point? So they get a new fucking boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, like what I was talking about last week when I watched that Haas Twins episode with those two, actually it was his cousin. He was talking about when you're in the boat and you're fishing, where do you care? If you throw the fish back, where do you care where the fish swims to? It's just something I need to keep in mind because it's like, dude, who cares? Like, who cares at this point? Welcome yourselves back to the Chuck Stew Show.
What's going on, guys? This is Chuck Stew for the Chuck Stew Show. I believe this is episode either 13 or 14, I'm not sure. So we got three or two more episodes left of the Chuck Stew Show until we go to season 6. And I don't think I'm going to be taking a break just because of what's been going on in my life right now. Usually what me and the doctor like to do from the fictional land of Cambridge is that we both like to take about a 2, maybe 3 month break from Chuck Stew, then we'll come back with a brand new season with new ideas. Mostly centered around politics, but I've been using this, like I said at the beginning of the show, as my personal therapy session, which is something I desperately need right now because of how bad my life is going. So, you think, even though I've already said this, you think by the age of 30, it's just going to keep going. It's just going to keep sucking. So, I'm going to drink the rest of my wine tonight. Once I get finished with the Chuck Stew Show recording tonight, I'm going to be drinking the rest of my wine. So, let's get off this. Let's get off this topic. So, for the Chuck Stew Show, let's get off this depressing topic and just talk about other things throughout the week. I mean, yesterday morning, something funny happened. I actually screamed. I did scream at my cat, but my cat reacted like I screamed at it because yesterday morning, when I was getting ready for work and making my morning coffee, I was watching the Green Bay Packers versus 49ers game. And the highlights, the 13-minute video was ridiculously entertaining because the game was just so close and they played in, Lambeau Field or something. And I thought I really wanted the 49ers to win this one because, I mean, I'm actually cool with the Patriots. As long as it's not the fucking Patriots. Like, I'm fine with anything but the Patriots again. Like, I'm fine. I'm literally okay with any other team other than probably fucking Pittsburgh and New England. Any other team I'm cool about going to the Super Bowl, but the 49ers, that's my team. And it was just a field goal, guys. We're kicking those field goals, and man, it was like magic. They were just point for point for point. Like, it was just so close and so crisp. And then finally at the end, at like the last 2 seconds of the fourth quarter, the guy makes it on the Packers, and he wins the whole game for everybody. And for all the Packer fans. And so I screamed, motherfucker! And my cat's eyes, like, all bulged out, his ears went back, and he ran off because I was screaming. And I screamed, fuck, again. And so he ran into the other room. So that was pretty funny before I went to work. And another positive note is I'm actually going on vacation. It is Wednesday night, my dudes. This is October, let's see. I actually didn't announce the date at the beginning of the show. It's actually October 17th of 2018. And I'm going on my first vacation, even though I'm actually planning on going on a longer vacation, if you guys get my drift. That's something that has been desperately needed. And then the next one, when I get another day off, we're going. Actually, it's not vacation. I just applied to go on a day off. Was on November. I believe it was November 19th or November 16th. So basically, I applied for a 3-day weekend. So that's something that I've desperately needed. It's just been just ridiculously bad lately. Like, it's just been so negative and so ugly. But anyways, I'm not going to keep... Okay, Sean, stop going to that part. Just get to the next part here. Just talk about other things here. Just be more positive. So, other than that, there's a possibility... I would like to actually go see the Internet in Phoenix next month. May hook up with my ex-girlfriend. Actually, we're just friends now, but that one's fine. But actually, at the beginning of the show, and actually halfway through the show, when I was referring to ex-girlfriends, I meant one specifically, not all of them. I was kind of just going on a rant there because of how angry I was. But hanging out with a woman who was actually on the Chuck Stu show in season 2, and her friend was also on my show. And me and Dr. Book interviewed her. So there's a possibility, because we have still stayed connected, that we are going to be seeing each other, possibly to go see the band The Internet, because I believe that they are on the Hive Mind tour still. And it's pretty cool, because The Internet is one of my favorite bands, probably at this point, I would say one of my all-time favorite bands, Dr. Book. We played them on the show before, back when we used to do the radio segments, in like season 2 and season 3. But, anyways, so that was one of the things that, with Dr. Pearl's book, that's one of his favorite bands. And I told him that Veteran, the album from JPEG Mafia, is my favorite album that has dropped this year. And it dropped like in January. It's October now. So you can see that it's either I wasn't really looking for music, or nothing caught my eye that came out this year that I would consider good enough. So it could be one of two things. So, it's just, I wouldn't say it's a shitty year for music exactly, because being that I'm a big music head, I like all kinds of different music, and I like to collect CDs and records, and I like to stream and download, and, I just positively love music. And I don't know if maybe it's just something I haven't been following too much, but this year it's just been another year that hasn't been too good for music, at least for me. And Anthony Fantano said it was for him, but that's because he literally is listening to, that's his job. He has to listen to everything. It's not mine. I mean, I used to get an album every Friday. I can still do that, though. I mean, I make enough money to buy CDs and records. It's just the only game in town is Zia Records, and that place is a pain in the ass to shop at because they never fucking have any. Well, then you can just say, well, Chuck, why don't you just go on eBay, or why don't you just go on Amazon and just buy from there? Yeah, I could. I bought a record, a 45 Grave record, and I haven't listened to it yet. I bought it like almost 2 weeks ago. I still haven't listened to it. I don't know why. I just wasn't really in the mood to listen to surf goth music. I would have much rather had like maybe a hip hop record. I've really been into hip hop and like funk fusion, and I've been getting back into acid jazz fusion kind of music lately. So I'm just not really in the mood to listen to metal or goth or punk. Just not really. I mean, I have been, just not really. It's just not what. And jazz too. That's another thing. I've really been into jazz lately, but it's just not really. You know, I have been downloading records, and I did download about 4 or 5 of them, but then I lost them because I lost not the internet. I had to get a new computer. And wait, no, did I? Yeah, I got a new computer. I completely forgot that the other one completely failed, and I gave it to Dr. Pearl's Houston Book and his roommate. So I gave it to him and said, if you can fix it, you can go ahead and have it. I don't know if I talked about this on the show before. But anyways, so I lost all my music on my fucking iTunes. All of the stuff that Dr. Book downloaded for me, or stuff I made, like mixtapes I made myself, basically greatest hits of artists I was listening to in the moment, and all that shit's gone. I got my iTunes back with records on it, but there's just not that many of them, so now I have to go back to collecting records by downloading off of YouTube or buying CDs and putting them on there, because I do have a CD drive. So that's, you know, if you can say that, I guess. I love collecting. It's like what the obsession that Anthony Fantano and Henry Rollins has. I love collecting music. I love buying records and vinyls, and sometimes I'll even buy cassettes, just, you know, for the hell of it. But lately, I just haven't been feeling it. I just haven't been feeling music lately. I keep listening to the same 2000s crap that I listened to when I was in middle school and high school, like Stained and Cold and Mudvayne and Slipknot and Linkin Park. I've been listening to them lately too. And I listened to Voivod the other day, and it was actually pretty good. But all those bands, it's just, and Limp Bizkit, like, I don't know what it is that is so attractive to me with that kind of music nowadays, because it's just like, it's just really like gross. But I mean, it's just not music that I would normally listen to. But for some reason, I've been listening to it a lot lately. Maybe within the last, actually no, not lately. It's probably about the last 2 years. I don't know why exactly, but because it's not my cup of tea. But I don't know, maybe it's just because it reminds me of my adolescence, and like, you know, when my coworker, he likes to listen to music from like the 70s, like 70s rock music and some 80s rock music. It's just, it's his vibe, it's his jam, because, you know, he's an older man like my father. It's, you know, 60s. I mean, that's just what I'm taking a guess though, but yeah.
Hopefully what we're going to be doing to start off my vacation on Friday night is that me and the doctor are going to be coming to my house, because we are now making a studio. And that was the other thing I was going to talk about. The other thing that I was going to discuss on the show is how what we were going to do is, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to be going over to his house, because his roof caved in. And we had a storm a couple of weeks ago. It's actually been raining a lot here lately, and it's actually been pretty nice. And there wasn't good enough supports or whatever it is. I don't know exactly. Whatever it is for like when a roof goes and collapses. It didn't completely collapse. It's just that the studio that we were using to make music is completely destroyed right now. They had to take, his computer got water damaged. I don't know if he's going to be getting a refund on that, even though his roommate got him a new computer. So fixed up a different computer. So he pretty much has the same one that he's always had and he was using for school. But they had to move all the stuff out of the room, and they had to vacuum the floor and get all the wood chips out of there. And now they possibly may get another person to come move in with them. And this person has a job, and she can pay for herself and whatnot. So that's, which is good. And so they got to clean up, and I'm going to be asking if I can come over there at some point to basically fix the roof, make the room look all nice and livable, so this person can come live with him. So anyway, other than that, the studio was now open up to where I'm recording Chuck Stew right now on my computer here in the living room at my apartment. So this is where all the magic is going to happen. Probably from at least now on for the foreseeable future, because once that room gets going, we're losing our studio space, so somebody can have a place to live, which if it was my place, I would gladly go ahead and do that for somebody that was in need. But not for certain people, but if this person is a legit hardworking individual with no fucking drug habits and anything like that, then yeah, I would go ahead and help that person if they're willing to help themselves. Which I'm sure most Americans are like that. But, so anyways, the magic is going to be happening here where I'm recording. And on Friday, we're going to be working on the Dynasty solo album, which has been in the works since, 2008, 2009? It's 2018, and we're finally getting somewhere with this record. I'm finally writing lyrics for it. We're picking out the beats for it. We're going to do 15 tracks. That's what I originally asked him, and he was cool with it. So we're going to make it more than a full-length LP. It's not just an EP, but it's going to be a full-length LP. So he is finally coming back. He's finally coming back to the game. And so that's one of the cool things that's going to be happening lately. Nothing really else happened. Other than at work. And also my book is going to be coming out. But I believe I already talked about that on this podcast recently. About 2 episodes ago, I talked about that. I'm actually supposed to be writing the foreword, so I'm glad that I said that to myself. So thank you, me. That I got to write the foreword for this damn book. It's not going to, let's see, so foreword, it's not going to write itself. Basically, the introduction to this, it's going to be 30 poems to end off the year on. It's going to be somewhat of a high note or a low note. I'm not exactly sure, but The Infant's Resurrected Dreams, my 6th book, is going to be coming out. I almost said 5th book. The 5th book was Pure Life, A Mouthful of Agony Below, but this is going to be the one with no short stories in it. It's going to be a straight poetry collection based off of a book called 20 Love Poems by Pablo Neruda, a book I actually own in there. Because Chuck Stew's got actually a small library in his room. And I got the freaking map like Paul Joseph Watson in his videos. I got a freaking flat earth map right here in the living room. That's what I'm touching right there. So, every time there's pain, you can shape it into a song. That's what all the greats have been always doing since the millennia, since the beginning of time. You take something, you can change it into something else.